Greetings, cyberdogs and citizens of the internet. This is ReNDoG coming at you from a very special episode 50 world tour of this Let's Play Minecraft Feed the Beast series. In this episode, we are going to be having a look back at everything we have achieved in this series so far, starting at our very humble beginnings on this tiny island and ending in the awesomeness that is the Cyber Labs. And if you are new from somewhere on the interbubs, this is a perfect episode for you to see how far we have come to reach our primary goal in Feed the Beast, which is to build a giant ass space platform called the RENSTAR that is going to suck this planet dry of its resources. But more about that later in the episode, guys. Let's get cracking. Let's freaking feed the beast that is our mind and take a trip down memory freaking lane. Alright guys, well, I started this Feed the Beast episode on this tiny island. This is in fact Spawn over here, and the reason that I wanted to play Feed the Beast was because I was inspired by some of my favorite Minecrafters, namely Etho and Seth Bling, who started playing Feed the Beast on the Minecraft server, and I absolutely loved the series that they put out, and I thought to myself, you know what, Feed the Beast looks so freaking sweet, I'm gonna do a series, and so I started my own Feed the Beast series, and we are now on episode 50, which is absolutely insane. But when I first started this series, we actually started from quite an advanced point, and I did most of the very early work off camera, and I started in this sweet ass cave over here where I mined a butt ton of marble, which I was going to use to create my very first Feed the Beast laboratory, which is now more commonly known as the Cyber Labs. And what I did was, once I'd established myself and once I'd gotten some food and once I'd gotten a bunch of freaking marble, I got in a boat and I headed in this direction to try and find myself a place to build a laboratory. And boy, did I find a freaking sweet place, man. I found an epic NPC village, which is now known as RENTOWN, and that is where I'm going to be taking you guys next, where we're going to have a look at the very first schematic that I set up for our primary goal in this series, which is the RENSTAR. So guys, I will see you in a moment when we get to RENTOWN, and I can show you exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about the RENSTAR. Well guys, after getting on my boat and hitting the mainland, it wasn't long before I stumbled across an epic NPC village that you see behind me. And it is not only epic because it is an awesome ass village, but it is also epic because it is right next to a swamp biome. And in Feed the Beast, a swamp biome means access to rubber. And of course, rubber is an extremely important resource in Feed the Beast, especially early on in the game when you need it to create your very first machines. And one of the first things I set up in this NPC village, after I used fences to fence the entire village off and make it secure from zombie invasions, was I built this rubber tree factory over here. And this rubber tree factory is what we use to supply us with an ample amount of rubber. I also went about building a butt ton of scaffolding so that I could set up the foundation idea of what I wanted to achieve in this Feed the Beast series, and that was the construction of a giant ass space platform that is going to be called the RENSTAR. And this is a miniature version of what the RENSTAR is going to look like. And this is basically going to be a space platform that is going to be hovering above RENTOWN right here in the sky. And each of these modules that you see over here is going to be a different part of the ship. So this module, for example, might be the power station. This module might be the living quarters. This could be the storage room. This could be the weapons area, etc, etc. And what we want to do is create a space platform that is 100% self-sufficient and is capable of sucking resources out of the planet below it, using all of the machines at our disposal to do that. And that is our primary goal, guys. And at episode 50, where we are right now, we are very close to starting the actual foundations for the space platform. And what a better episode now to do a world tour than just before we start building the actual freaking RENSTAR right here above RENTOWN. And this gives us a fantastic view of RENTOWN from this position over here. And when I got to the village, research, I thought to myself, well, I want to make a laboratory, right? Because I'm a Dexter's Laboratory fan, and I thought, you know, Feed the Beast is all about machines, it's all about creating epic-ass factories and things like that, so what better way to do that than in an epic freaking laboratory? And what I decided to do, guys, was set up my laboratory underneath the church of RENTOWN. And this, my friends, for those of you who are new to the series, or for those of you who just are enjoying this trip down memory lane, this is the Cyber Lab. So the very first thing that I did, guys, was I dug a huge area underneath the church of RENTOWN, and I set up for ourselves a laboratory. And in this laboratory we have two floors. We have the top floor over here of the Cyber Labs, which contains all of our important machines, all of our energy producing stuff, our storage room, our bio research facility, our furnaces, etc. And this is where we basically do all of our feed the beasting, as it were. But underneath this floor is a second floor called the Cyber Labs maintenance level, and it is on this floor that we have all of our piping, all of our wiring, our recycling facility, and a whole bunch of other factories that I'm going to be showing you in this episode today. But the reason that I built the Cyber Labs in this way was because I wanted to keep the Cyber Labs as neat as I possibly could. I wanted to make sure that the hundreds and hundreds of blocks worth of piping and of wiring were underneath our factories and underneath our workshops and whatnot, so that this whole place could be as neat as possible. So guys, let's head up to the first floor of the Cyber Labs. I'm going to take you through the rooms of the Cyber Labs one by one, starting with the most important room of this entire place, and that is the power plant. Well, what we have here, guys, is a configuration of geothermal generators that we can turn on and off that are sucking up lava from tanks underneath them. And those tanks are receiving an infinite supply of lava via a nether rack and via a lava sucking factory in the nether, which I'm going to be showing you guys very soon. And basically what these geothermal generators, or otherwise known as Squidwards, are doing is generating power and sending this power into what is known as the battery room. Now the battery room is an array of MFE power storage units that basically save a whole bunch of power for us, and we use the power that we save in our battery room over here to power all of the various factories that we have around the Cyber Labs. But before we get into the actual factories that we have in our Cyber Labs facility, I want to take you guys into the nether to show you exactly how we are supplying our geothermal generators, or aka our Squidwards, with an infinite supply of lava. And we are doing it via this transit machine called a liquid tesseract. And basically what this liquid tesseract does is it sucks lava from our nether lava factory into the Cyber Labs laboratory. So let me show you guys. Let's just light the portal and go into the nether, and I'm going to show you guys how we have set up an infinite lava generating machine. Alright, Cyber Dogs, we are now in the nether, and we are just outside our lava sucking factory in the nether. And as you can see, we have got two proboscises coming down into the lava pool below, sucking up lava and sending that lava into the Cyber Labs. So let's head quickly into our sweet ass lava sucking factory over here. As you can see, there's a jetpack landing platform, which is very, very awesome. And what we have got here is literally a setup of a pump sucking lava out of the lava pool below into this liquid tesseract over here. And of course, we also have a world anchor over here, which keeps these chunks in the nether loaded, which is what allows us to send this lava from our pump into this liquid tesseract, and then this liquid tesseract delivers this lava into the liquid tesseract of the Cyber Labs. And we have another pump facility over here which is doing exactly the same thing. And of course, we have set this up with magma crucibles to power our liquid pumps over here using these redstone conductors. And basically we can pump lava 24 hours a day non-stop, and this lava just goes straight into this liquid tesseract, which delivers the lava into the cyber lab. So that, guys, is how our Squidwards are getting an infinite supply of lava. And we are now under attack by a freaking bat, which is not awesome. So let's get back into the Nether Portal Temple, back into the cyber labs, guys. Let's start having a look at the various rooms that we have set up in the cyber labs. All right, cyber dogs, we are back in the portal room of the cyber labs, and behind me you can see two interesting portals that we have generated using this epic tool that I am holding in my hand right now. And this is, of course, a portal gun that we found on an epic adventure that we went on. And this portal gun literally allows you to create a portal. So if we have this portal over here and we go through it, we come out this one, and it is just a very, very useful tool that we found on our travels in this Feed the Beast series that we haven't really made much use of yet, but it is a really easy way to go adventuring and to get back into the cyber labs really easily after an adventure, because what we do is we leave one portal here in the cyber labs, and when we are finished with our adventure, we just open the other portal, and then we come directly into the cyber labs, which is awesome. But guys, let's start on the tour of the first floor of the cyber labs in the machine room. And in this room, we have basically set up all of the machines that we have so far acquired in this Feed the Beast series. And so far, we have got a liquid transposer, a pulverizer, an induction smelter, a plate bending machine, a macerator, an industrial electrolyzer, a rolling machine, a carpenter, and a compressor. And these are the machines that we have required to build all of the stuff that we've wanted to do in this Feed the Beast series so far. And all of these machines, or most of them anyway, are connected to a sorting system that automatically sorts items for us into a giant storage warehouse, which is where we're going to go now. All of these machines are connected to our power plant, which I showed you guys earlier. So we've got our geothermal generating power plant machine powering up our power plant, and our power plant is powering all of the machines in our machine room, and it is doing so via cables, via these glass fiber power cables that run underneath in the cyber labs maintenance level. And that's why you can see it's looking really, really neat. And we have on and off switches for the machines that require them, and we have also connected both our macerator and our compressor to our auto sorting system. So anything that we want to have macerated, for example iron ore, golden ore, or any of the ores, automatically get piped into our macerator via our transport system, so that we can double up on our ore yield from our quarries, which we have set up in the cyber labs maintenance level, which you guys are going to see a little bit later in this episode. We are also using our compressor to automatically compress iron ingots into iron blocks, because the goal is to create the RenStar, that space platform that I mentioned, completely out of iron blocks. So the more iron blocks we can generate automatically, the better. And basically our sorting system, which you guys will see a little bit later on, is sending all iron into this compressor to create those iron blocks. But next up on this world tour, guys, I want to take you into our storage warehouse facility. And in the storage warehouse facility, we have a giant array of barrels which are being automatically filtered via our sorting system in the cyber labs maintenance level. And as you can see, guys, we have a vast array of items here, ranging from all of our ingots that we might require, to all of the ores that might be coming through the sorting system, to all of the dusts that might be coming through the sorting system, to all of the very rare things like diamonds and emeralds and freaking uranium and and iridium, and all of this sweet ass loot that we get out of our quarries. Everything that we really need in this Feed the Beast series is being stored in this storage facility. And here, guys, you can see so far our collection of iron blocks that are being generated by our machinery. And here is just basically all of the iron ore that we are collecting. And we are doing this via a pneumatic pipe system. Let's just break through here so that you can see now. This is called a pneumatic pipe. And this pipe system runs all the way through this sorting facility, connecting to the top of all of these barrels. And basically, when I show you the filtering system in the cyber labs maintenance level, it will make sense. But these pneumatic pipes smartly filter items into their required barrels in our storage facility over here, which is really awesome. And whenever we need anything, we can just sort of come into our storage facility and say we need a stack of marble blocks over here. We can just pick up a stack of marble blocks over there, which is really sweet. We also have an annex behind the main storage facility, which is currently storing all of the scaffolding that we are creating to create the foundations for the RenStar. And already you can see we have a few full barrels, and that is because we have a scaffolding factory in the Cyberlabs maintenance level, which I'm going to be showing you guys very shortly. Now guys, before we actually carry on our tour, let's just do a little bit of housework right now. What we need to do occasionally in this series is do a whole bunch of smelting, because as you can see, we are collecting a whole bunch of piles of dust from our macerator, as our macerator is macerating ores that it is collecting. And now we are in the furnace room of the Cyberlabs maintenance level, and of the Cyberlabs itself, and this is where we smelt down all of the ores that we collect from our quarries. And man, I can't wait to show you guys our quarries. But there we go, guys. These are electrical furnaces that are connected to the power plant via a glass fiber cable in the Cyberlabs maintenance level. And when these electrical furnaces actually finish creating ingots of iron or ingots of whatever we are smelting, it actually we have a system here that sucks the ingots out of the furnaces and it sends it directly into our sorting system, which you guys are going to see in a moment. And that is how we are collecting all of our ingots. And it looks like there might be something wrong over there, but we'll sort that out at some other point. Now guys, this machine over here is our industrial blast furnace, which we use to create steel ingots and a whole bunch of other jazz. It's just a very advanced machine that is also connected to the power plant, and it is just looking freaking sweet. We haven't used it in a while now, but you know, it is at our disposal to use. And this is basically our furnace room where we have our industrial blast furnace and our electrical furnaces to smelt down a whole bunch of stuff. Well guys, the next room on the tour is the bio research facility, and this is where we are crossbreeding crops to get to a point where we can generate iron from crops. Because remember guys, we are trying to get a butt-ton of iron to create that space platform that we want to build. And this right here in the middle is called a CROP-MATRON, and what this thing does, it looks after our crops that sit around it, and it automatically fertilizes them, automatically waters them, and it automatically uses some weed control called Weedex to keep weeds from spreading through our bio research facility. And these are basically our research pods where we are currently we are trying to generate nether and tether wart from stickweed. And if I get my crop analyzer over here, you can see that these are currently stickweeds that are crossbreeding in between each other. And we are eventually, guys, going to get to a crop of plants that can create iron for us. That is what we are doing in the bio research facility over here. A very, very cool room. One of my favorite rooms in the Cyberlabs maintenance level. In the Cyberlabs, sorry. Speaking of Cyberlabs maintenance level, I'm going to take you guys down. Looks like we have a visitor. Hey dude, what's cracking? Alright Cyberdogs, it is time to head into our next part of the tour, and that is having a look at what is going down in the Cyberlabs maintenance level. Basically the meat and potatoes of what keeps the Cyberlabs running. And down here we have a various number of different machines and different setups that we're going to have a look at. Firstly guys, I want to show you the quarries. And the quarries are basically the lifeblood of the Cyberlabs, and the quarries are what are generating for us a whole bunch of freaking materials. And it's one of our greatest sources of getting all of the iron, all of the rare loots, everything that you see in the storage warehouse is being sucked up by the quarry. And for those of you guys who don't know, a quarry is basically an automatic mining machine that literally sucks up blocks in an area like this and delivers them into a transport network. And what we have here is one quarry that is sucking this area dry of all of its resources, including awesome stuff like diamonds when eventually it gets down to diamond level. But we also have a quarry in here, which has something very, very special built in the very middle of it, which we're going to have a look at in 1 second. But I just want to show you guys our second quarry that is also running over here. So we have 2 quarries generating for us and basically an infinite, unstopping supply of materials, ranging from cobblestone to dirt to freaking iron ores to diamonds to all of that sweet ass jazz that you normally have to manually mine using a pickaxe in Minecraft. And what these quarries are doing, they are sending all of these resources. You can see all of these blocks are traveling into what is known as the recycling facility of the Cyberlabs maintenance level over here. And here, guys, you can see a diamond pipe is sending all of the ores that the quarries could possibly get, copper ore, monazite, ferrite, gold, iron, etc., into the machine room above it. And what's happening here is that the macerator in the machine room is macerating those ores into into piles of dust, and basically a macerator turns 1 block of ore into 2 piles of dust. So basically you double your yield using a macerator. We also have another diamond pipe over here, which is sending any of those iron ores that we are creating in the furnace room directly into that compressor to automatically create iron blocks for us. So that is what's going on in that corner of the Cyberlabs maintenance level. What we have over here, guys, is an array of electrical engines that are powering our quarries, and this allows us to control how much power we want to flow into both of our quarries, because we can just turn these electrical engines off to control the power that is going into the quarries. And of course that power is coming directly from the battery room, which sits above us right here. And sometimes when we have all of our machines running at the same time in the Cyberlabs, we do run out of power. So what I need to do is sort of turn off some of the engines that are powering the quarries in here. But guys, let's have a look. Before we actually look at what is going on inside this giant cavity over here, let's take a look at our recycling facility. And essentially what we've done here is we've set up a recycling facility that is receiving any items from our quarries that we don't want, and it is recycling them into scrap, and then that scrap is being turned into what is known as a scrap box. Now what a scrap box does for you is when you open a scrap box, it makes for you a random item in Minecraft, right? It just makes like a random feed the beast item for you. And what we are doing here is we are sending, let's just add a few more seconds to this timer over here. We are sending scrap boxes into a dispenser, and the dispenser is automatically opening the scrap box for us, and then this obsidian pipe over here is collecting that scrap box, or collecting the item that was generated from that scrap box and sending it into our sorting system, which I'm going to show you right after this, guys. But we've got a scrap box coming in from the recycling facility right now, and I can show you exactly how this works. Let's have a look. Has it landed in? Yes. Okay, so it has landed. We've got 4 scrap boxes now in our dispenser, and if we just let's remove some seconds from here, what you guys will see is these scrap boxes being turned into items by our dispenser. There we go. It made a stick. It made a piece of scrap, another piece of scrap, which is redirected back into the recycling facility, and every now and then it will make something really sweet like a diamond or something. But those really rare items have a very low percentage chance of being created. But this is an excellent way to turn all of that unwanted cobblestone and whatnot into actual items in Feed the Beast. And the way that this recycling facility works is that we have an auto crafting table over here that is turning cobblestone into slabbage, because of course if you do that, you actually double the number of items that you can send into your recycling facility. And as you can see, we've got 2 auto crafting tables turning cobblestone into slabbage, and that slabbage goes into this transport system, and it is delivered straight into these recyclers, which have overclock upgrades in them, and these recyclers are turning these blocks into scrap. And that scrap is being turned into scrap boxes, which is being opened, and it is automatically creating random items for us. So this is our recycling facility, guys. We set this up to deal with all of the freaking items all of the blocks that we don't want to use from our quarry. And speaking of blocks that we don't want to use, there is a block called rotten flesh, or an item rather called rotten flesh, that we are definitely not interested in using, and that we are also redirecting into our recycling facility via have this golden transport pipe that you see over here, and that rotten flesh is being generated by this beautiful construction over here, which is in fact a giant ass mob spawner factory, and or it's just a giant ass mob spawner basically. And what this mob spawner does is it generates zombies above here in this in a giant cavity over here. Let's actually see if we can get in here so I can show you guys exactly what this mob spawner does. What we actually found on an adventure once was a few mob spawners, and using our portal gun we were able to bring these mob spawners back into the cyber labs, and we were able to set up what you see over here, which is a gravity mob trap. And what we have here is 4 spawning pads with spawners on them that we used, that we were able to transport here using our portal gun. And these spawners, these spawning pads generate zombies and skeletons and spiders, and those mobs fall down these trap doors over here, and then they go into these liquid aqueducts, and they are delivered into the center of our mob trap to a giant fall. And when they fall down this fall, they hit the bottom over here and die. And then we have obsidian pipes which suck up their loot and basically suck up their rotten flesh, and that rotten flesh gets delivered into the recycling facility of the cyber lab. So we just basically have another really good way of generating materials via our recycling facility over here. And we are going to be upgrading our mob trap at some point where we can actually turn it into an XP farm too, and that's going to be one of the upgrades that we apply to our mob trap. But this mob trap was one of my favorite projects actually. In me and Steps, man. For those of you guys who watch me a lot, you guys know that when I play Steps, I always play them wrong because I'm a freaking step noob. But that is our mob spawner, guys. I know that we can create much better mob spawners, but currently, you know, this is our very first mob spawner trap that we made, and I'm very, very happy with how it works. And our portal gun allowed us to upgrade our mob spawner from not just a spawning platform trap, but to an actual spawner platform trap, which is epic. And I just absolutely love the way that it looks. So awesome, man. And of course, this giant cavity that you see over here, guys, was created by the very first quarry that we set up. Of course, we now have 2 other quarries running, but this is where our very first quarry started. Basically, all of the loots that allowed us to construct all of the awesome machines and things that you have seen on this world tour so far came from that very first quarry. And it holds a special place in my heart, man. I really love that quarry. But guys, let's move over to the other side of the Cyber Labs maintenance level so I can show you the final things that we have actually got set up here. Over here we have a manual insertion chest, and this is basically where we manually insert items. If we want to send items that we have in our inventory into the sorting system, we come into this chest and we just stick them in here, and those items get sucked out and sent into this sorting system. Now let's have a quick talk about how the sorting system works. You can see the items are traveling along this golden transport pipe, and if we follow this golden transport pipe all around the circumference of the Cyber Labs maintenance level, you will see that the items end up in this chest over here, and then we have a filter, which this thing is actually called a filter, which sucks out the items from this chest and sends them via this pneumatic pipe into that giant array of storage of pneumatic pipes and storage barrels that you saw in the storage warehouse. And the way that the filter works, or the way that pneumatic pipes work, is if you have a barrel or an open chest connected to the pneumatic pipe system, the pneumatic pipe will smartly send items to that barrel. So if you have a barrel filled with sand, for example, when the filter delivers the items into the pneumatic pipe will smartly send that sand into that sand barrel and into no other sand barrel. So it's basically a smart sorting system which automatically fills up your barrels for you. Which is really, really epic, and a really easy way to keep your storage rooms completely organized in Feed the Beast, which is really, really awesome. It's a little bit more complicated than that to explain, but I've basically explained the basics. If you guys want to see exactly how that sorting system was set up, go and find the episodes in the series where I actually set up that system, and it'll make a whole bunch of sense to you. But before we get onto this factory over here, guys, I want to show you what we've done over here. This little factory we've got going over here is actually to create weed eggs for us. because we need Weedex for our bio-research facility, because the CROP-MATRON that I showed you guys earlier in the episode, it requires hydration, it requires fertilizer, and it requires Weedex. So what this little factory does for us is it creates hydration cells for us using a liquid transposer and using this extractor over here, and it also creates Weedex for us using this auto crafting table, and all of those items are delivered via these transport pipes directly into our sorting system over here. You can see all of the items that this factory generates comes directly into the sorting system and back into the filter and back into the pneumatic pipe system. So that is how we keep our CROP-MATRON automatically filled up with sweet ass materials. But guys, we have got one more factory to show you in the Cyberlabs maintenance level, and this is what is known as the humus and scaffolding factory. Now, why have we set up a humus and scaffolding factory, I hear you guys ask? Well, I need to take you to the surface of RENTOWN to show you exactly what is going on upstairs over here. And what we can see over here, guys, are two automatic tree farms which we set up. And basically, these automatic tree farms are made up of a machine called an arboretum, which automatically plants saplings and using saplings and humus. And we also have another machine called a logger. And what a logger does is it automatically cuts down trees, collects the logs that it cuts down, and collects the apples that it cuts down. So what we have here is a system where this arboretum is automatically planting saplings for us, and this logger is automatically cutting them down. Now, when the logger cuts a tree down, it collects the log and it collects the apples that drops from the tree. And what we are doing is delivering those logs in this direction via this transport pipe directly into that factory that we just had a look at. All of the other items that are generated by these automatic tree farms are being sent directly into the sorting system. So let's head back down to that factory that I showed you, and let's have a quick chat about what the jazz that factory actually does. And for those of you guys who have been watching the series, you guys know what's going on here, but for you guys who are new, this is basically a humus factory. And what this humus factory does is it turns apatite and sand into fertilizer, and that fertilizer is used in this auto crafting table to generate humus. And the humus that is generated from this auto crafting table is sent back into those arboretums that we saw in the auto tree factories on the surface in RENTOWN. Now, the other half of this factory is our scaffolding factory, and what we have here is a barrel that is receiving logs from our loggers, from our auto tree farms. You saw those logs traveling along those pipes. Those logs come directly into this barrel over here, and what happens is this barrel sends its logs into this auto crafting table, which makes oak wood planks. Those oak wood planks are turned into stick, and those sticks and those planks are then sent into this final auto crafting table where we are generating scaffolding. And of course, we need scaffolding to be able to build the foundations for the RENSTAR. So this factory is a dual purpose factory. Number one, to generate humus to keep our arboretums creating logs, and number two, to turn those logs eventually into scaffolding over here. And we should be seeing scaffolding being generated in a moment as soon as this auto crafting table gets another oak wood plank from this auto crafting table over here. But guys, this is basically the freshest factory that we have built so far in this series, and it is actually one of the most important factories. It might be one of the simplest factories, but it is in fact one of the most important factories we have, because this is going to allow us to actually start achieving our main goal, which is of course to build the RENSTAR, a giant space platform that is going to be floating above RENTOWN. But guys, I mean, I can't believe we've actually come to the end of this tour, but I mean, there is basically nothing else really to show you guys. There you can see some scaffolding just got made. There we go, got some more scaffolding being made over there. I've showed you everything that we have built so far, and you know, basically in summary, we have a power generating room, we have a power storage room, we have a machine room, we have an item storage room, we have a furnace room, we have a bio research facility, we have a recycling facility, we have a humus and a scaffolding generating facility, we have an infinite lava supply facility, and we have 2 quarries running at the same time, and of course we have a mob spawner trap. And we've managed to achieve all of that in 50 freaking episodes, and I actually have no idea how we've managed to do all of that in 50 episodes, but we have, and I'm freaking proud of that, man. And I gotta say that none of this stuff that I have built in this series would have been possible without you guys, because most of the advice that I've been getting, how to actually craft all of these machines, how to make all of this stuff, has been coming from you freaking cyberdogs who have been watching this series, who have been leaving comments on my YouTube channel, yeah, on the comment section of the Feed the Beast videos, as well as on Dogcraft.net, the official Cyberdog fan community. Without you guys, I would not have been able to achieve all of this sweet ass stuff that we have done in Feed the Beast, man. So I just want to take this moment on this very special episode 50 to thank all of you who have watched this series from episode 1 all the way to now. I cannot thank you guys enough, and thank you to every single one of you who have contributed to this series, who have helped me figure out some of the problems and conundrums that I've had while trying to create all of this sweet ass jazz in the Cyber Labs. And guys, this is also just a special note to any of you guys who might be new from somewhere on the interwebs. Welcome to the ReNDoG channel, welcome to this Feed the Beast series, and I really hope you enjoyed this world tour. And if you did, why don't you hit that subscribe button so that you can keep up to date with this Feed the Beast series. And if you are a big fan of Minecraft, I also play Minecraft Survival, and I also play Minecraft Hexit, and you can find all of that sweet jazz on my YouTube channel. Well guys, we have come to the end of this very special episode 50 world tour of the Cyber Labs, of RENTOWN, and of our Feed the Beast series. And in the next episode, guys, you know what's about to happen, man. We are going to start working on creating the foundations for our final and ultimate goal of Feed the Beast, and that is to create the Ren Star. Guys, thank you so much for watching this episode. If you have enjoyed it, you hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, you hit that subscribe button. This has been ReNDoG on a special world tour of Let's Play Feed the Beast, and we will see you in the next episode, my friends. Goodbye!